All right, with that, we're going to go out to Tennessee, and we got Cindy on the call. I'm excited to hear from her. Cindy, are you still there?
I am here, Tracy. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Step Call. We are on 68. People are as different as they look. He said, if you want to build relationships based on mutual respect, you must recognize and value the diversity in people. The fact is we all come from a variety of backgrounds, religions, and nationalities. We each have distinguishing features, life experiences, education, political leanings, personality type, and family upbringing. Because no two people are alike, these differences shape our perceptions and the way we view the world. Far too often I've been a part, this is Todd Smith speaking, far too often I have been a part of group discussions and witnessed people who quickly dismiss the idea of others. Whether their disagreement was communicated through the words they spoke or through their body language, it was clear that they disagreed. Dismissing an idea just because it didn't originate from your thought process is a sign of arrogance. In reality, the ability to think differently can spark creativity and innovation. Elbert Hubbard, an American philosopher, writer, and publisher of the 19th century, reinforced why we should be receptive to the idea of others. He said, the recipe for perpetual ignorance is be satisfied with your opinions and content with your knowledge. He said, valuing the differences in people also helps you become a more effective communicator. Tony Robbins described it this way. To effectively communicate, we must realize we are all different in the way we perceive the world and use this understanding as a guide to our communication with others. Being open to the perspectives of others enhances your listening skills, demonstrates your sincere interest in the other person, and helps you better connect with others. All of these skills are required to build long and meaningful relationships. So when I think about this, I think about people that I have worked with in the past that absolutely thought their ideas were the only ideas that were any good, that mattered, that were relevant. He literally would just dismiss everyone's ideas but his own. And even if we were doing something that was really, really working, he would not acknowledge it. He would not give us any recognition or respect for what we were doing because it didn't come from him. It was not his idea. And so it's like, you want to talk about losing respect for someone really, really quickly. This is a great way to do it, just dismissing everybody else. And I love what that Elbert Hubbard said, because he basically called, if you're only satisfied with your own opinions, it's ignorance. And that is so, so true. And this person I'm talking about was ignorant to the fact that he thought his ideas were the only ones that mattered, and nobody else's were any good. Is just complete ignorance. I mean, that's called taking, basically you're not allowing yourself to grow in your life if you will not listen to other people's opinions and if you think that yours are the only one that matters. So I could talk for a while on this one, Tracy. I'll give it back to you.
Hey, I agree with that wholeheartedly about Hubbard. One of the greatest leaders that I had worked for, warden at a maximum security prison, I'll never forget, he was having a meeting trying to come up with a bunch of different ideas, and I was early on as a unit manager, and I kept agreeing with what he was saying. But after the meeting, he held me up, and he asked I was very early as a unit manager, probably been one for a month or so, and he asked me why I was agreeing with everything, and I said, well, I just wanted to go along with the program. I didn't want to be seen as a maverick. And he said, Tracy, if everybody agreed with me, I wouldn't need anybody else. I need some difference of opinions, and that's so true. And, so often we don't listen to other people's opinion. And if that had been the case throughout history, I guess the world would have still been square. The universe would have still revolved around the earth. And another thing, not just opinions, but how we express those opinions. If you talk to somebody from the military, they're usually straight to the point. That don't mean they don't care about something. That's just how they're raised about giving their opinion. If you talk to my wife, she'll give you her opinion and then start talking about meeting this woman in why she was looking for oranges. That don't mean that she's scattered. That just means that she just gives her opinion in a different way. And so I just wanted to get that in there. If you want to give your final word real quick, I'd love to hear it.
Well, I think that your leader that you were listening to was a very wise man, and I'm sure he was in leadership for a reason, because he realized that he was no one without his team and the ideas of others. And I think that that's what makes a great team. It's what makes a great company, that, it's all about everybody's ideas coming together to make a great thing happen. And so I just love that. He said his challenge today, he said, I hope that after reading this lesson, you will not only intellectually accept the idea that we are all different, but you will also value the contributions from others. Here are my challenges for you. Number 1, be less critical of others. Instead, acknowledge and learn to appreciate people as unique individuals. 2, disagree without offending. When you find yourself disagreeing with another person, pause and recognize that they are sharing their views based on their life experiences, which are unlike yours. Respect their opinions even though you may disagree. If you can't reach an agreement, agree to respectfully disagree. Number 3, value the uniqueness of people when discussing ideas. Show respect by listening intently to what they have to say and learn as much as you can about their ideas or plans. Who knows? Their ideas may be better than yours. And I think that's a great way to end it. The final thing he says, enrich your life by expanding your mind, valuing other people's opinions, and learning new ideas. Above all, appreciate the beauty of our differences. So I love that. I'll give it to you to close out.
Well, that is so awesome. I used to try to win people to my way of thinking. Almost every disagreement was like a game to me, and I'm very competitive, and I would get frustrated if I couldn't win them to my way of thinking. And so now I just, and I've learned, you learn when you listen. You're trying to give out how much you know while you talk, but you're actually learning while you listen. So I listen more than I talk, and instead of trying to win somebody to my way of thinking, I try to follow what the great Jim Rohn says. When someone disagrees with me, I'll just if I still disagree with what they're saying, instead of trying to tell them how wrong they are, I'll just say, interesting. And that's my way of not arguing with them, but just saying, of ending the conversation. Interesting. And so with that, hey, this week, if we're out there and we disagree with somebody, we don't have to tell them how wrong they are. Just say interesting. And so I'm going to open up the lines and let everybody say goodbye real quick.
Thank you.
Great job, guys.
Thank you.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tracy.
Thank you, Cindy, and everybody. Very good reminder.
Great job, Tracy.
Hey, love y'all. Bye-bye.
Love you,
Bye. Don't disagree with others' opinion. Just listen and think it over. You might agree later. Gusto naman yun, di ba? Siyempre, masasakta. Maganda itong mga discussion dito.
Bye.
We can learn. I can learn. Bye. Bye, Cindy and Kirby. Thank you again. Yan.